The UK's Foreign Secretary and host of the first Media Freedom Conference in London, Jeremy Hunt, has urged politicians to be more tolerant of the media, which he says, despite its faults, does a lot of good to the society. Mr. Hunt announced the UK would commit £18 million to improve media freedom across the world.
I'm a politician, and like many members of my profession, I don't always enjoy reading what the media says about me. Indeed, a politician who stands up for journalists might occasionally feel like a turkey voting for Christmas. And of course, I need to say, maybe my only chance, newspapers also make mistakes. Journalists are not immune from the temptations of hyperbole or excess. But for those of us who are sometimes on the receiving end of criticism, we should also reflect on the wisdom of Nelson Mandela, when he said, "The media are a mirror through which we see ourselves and others perceive us, warts, blemishes, and all. Such criticism can only help us to grow by calling attention to those of our actions and omissions which do not measure up to our people's expectations." So if we're wise, we politicians will treat the media as a critical friend.
Now, JoyNews' Israel Lai has been speaking with the Information Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, who also attended the conference. Now, he says Ghana's performance on the World Press Freedom Index within the last few years has been commendable, despite the recently reported cases of attacks on media freedom. Now, he maintains that Ghana has and continues to build a robust mechanism for free and responsible media practice.
So for us back home in Ghana, we're rolling out the Media Capacity Enhancement Program, which has many of your organizations and your press houses on it, in identifying what the gaps are, what the interventions ought to be. Government is just working to provide the funding for these intervention programs so that we can lift the quality of journalism and crowd out bad journalism, crowd out misinformation, and I dare say even disinformation. That's one of the first things we're doing. And it's exciting to know that on a global platform, this is something that is being talked about. Indeed, they are creating a global media protection fund, and we're arguing that part of those resources should be channeled towards training and assisting of media persons to lift their capacities. It's not enough just to wait for the person to get into trouble and then you are hiring lawyers for the person and trying to give them safe havens. We think it serves a better purpose to invest in their training, invest in their capacity enhancement so that they can 99.99% of the time get it right. And not get into...
You indicated during one of your deliveries that we're looking at making it effective by the end of this month.
Yes.
How far are we?
Indeed, on Monday in Accra, the first validation workshop for the draft framework is taking place. It's being led by the Honorable Pius Ajide, who's Deputy Minister for Information. And on the platform, UNESCO and all of the other stakeholder groups are coming to look at the draft and contribute to it so that before the end of July, we have Ghana's blueprint for this coordinated mechanism. The idea is to have the media actors, media trainers, civil society organizations, the judiciary, the security agencies, all on a common platform, so that we can do some deeper education for everybody on what our common responsibilities are in upholding free and responsible media.
Right, let's hit the phones. Joining us, managing editor for Radio XYZ, and also joining us from Nigeria is Adebola Abayomi, chairman of the independent chapter of Union of Nigerian Journalists. Now, Adebola Abayomi is live now. Adebola, thank you very much for your time. Of course, in light of Mr. Jeremy Hunt's call on the media to be tolerated more because we do more good than harm, I wonder whether this reflects the situation in Nigeria. How do the people consider the role of the media in the society?
Well, for us, either we like it or not, first of all, media is watchdog of society. Whether the society is going to tolerate the media more or we are going to support press freedom, it's in our own good. any society that is deliberately working against media is deliberately shutting the door of progress, shutting the door of development, shutting the door of what have you against that. So in Nigeria, for me, I will say that although there is no absolute freedom anywhere for press freedom, but the atmosphere we have in Nigeria is fair because we are now running a democratic government. And I want to also see that there is even a lot more expected of us, even as journalists. The press freedom does not necessarily mean you have freedom to write all the trashes in this world. The press freedom also connotes that press must also obey the law. It must be fair to report at whatever level.
Now,
So that is, yeah.
Okay, now tell me, how difficult is it for an individual to start a radio or a TV station or a newspaper? Are the laws governing the establishment of media houses prohibitive, or are they quite liberal?
In Nigeria, there's nothing stopping anything from owning a media house or starting or establishing a media complex. But the best factor militating against the establishment of media is the funding. The law in Nigeria is not stringent, as I would think. I would have expected probably that there is a law on ground that says any media owner or media establishment that refuses to pay salary and suspend you should be closed down or liquidated. Because what you have in Nigeria, to be honest with you, are a group of individuals who think probably a lot of impunity, so to say, in code for media owners and a lot of respect and prestige. They start owning these media houses and they start owning a lot of salaries and the welfare of journalists and all were taken care of. So the bottom line is that the laws are there to want to operate. But the greatest factor that is created against is that most of the media owners are. So the funding is the greatest challenge. Not even the law.
Right. Now, let me bring in Eric Ahianyo, who is the managing editor for Radio XYZ. Eric, good to speak to you. Now, you, of course, have had your frequency revoked, if you will, for non-payment of licensing fees. And at the time, the argument made by yourself and the supporters of your media house was that, well, this was an attempt by government to stifle your freedom. Do you still hold that position? And has there been any progress, actually, in resolving your matter?
Okay, let me immediately respond to the latter part of your response. And before we do that, I can hear some feedback at the background. Looks like a noisy area. Maybe your producers can assist, but let me go straight. We have made some progress. I have, on 2 occasions, represented our group at the Parliamentary Select Committee level, the Committee on Communications. At the last meeting, the Minister for Communications was present, the board chairman of the National Communications Authority, and other members were also present. The Chief Executive or the Executive Director, Joanochi, was also present. At that meeting, we agreed that we can resolve the issue amicably. The Minister for Communications was emphatic that the decision taken at that time was not targeting individual media houses because they are critical of government. We have our own opinion because the manner in which it was done suggested that media houses which were very critical of government were the ones targeted. But in our argument, the action was extended across the country, and some members or people who belong to the ruling party have also had their media houses affected. My simple opinion is that it may have been an afterthought which was supposed to be done to synchronize the whole operation to make it look like it was a general anthem. But we've gone beyond that, and we have been asked to withdraw legal issues we took up at the court so that we can resolve the matter amicably. At the last meeting with the communications minister and those who were also present, the agreement was that within 4 weeks, we should go through the reapplication process and then it will be taken up from there. So we are looking at this in good faith, and we believe that we can go beyond it at that level.
Right. Now, let me bring back our colleague from Nigeria who's on the other line. Now, in Nigeria, I know that criminal libel is still on your law books. People can be sent to jail for what they say. Are there any campaigns seeking to repeal that, or has that become an accepted part of the media landscape?
No, please, please come again.
Yeah, I'm asking about criminal libel. In Nigeria, criminal libel still exists. So a journalist could be sent to jail for what they say or what they write. Now, is that something that Nigerians are campaigning against to have removed, or is it an accepted part of the media landscape?
Well, for us, the laws are always there to checkmate everyone. Not even the media alone to fight. On media, for me, I don't believe you have to leave the media totally home. Just because of we need to fight for abuse. In Nigeria here, there are laws, but you must have been seen to have committed that offense. On several occasions, governments in one way or the other have tried to hide under that to punish some journalists, but at the end of the day, it was to not the same law also asks for proof of evidence. So the law in Nigeria against on media oppression is neither for government, nor for journalists, nor for anyone, but whoever deliberately commit those offenses. But the matter one is a journalist does not give one the liberty to run another person down.
Very well.
But
okay.
But again, there is need to come up with laws. Not necessarily because you want to punish someone.
Okay.
But laws to exist social order. But as far as we are concerned in Nigeria, we are aware that government wants to take advantage of situations at times. We tried that severally. MPs, the National Assembly to take the media, and we rejected it outrightly.
Very well. Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon, both of you. And of course, this is only the beginning of the conversation on press freedom. There's more to come. Next week, here on Joy News, on the AM show, we'll be launching a series all about press freedom. We'll talk about the press and you. We'll talk about the government's relationship with the media and so forth. So thank you for that. And thank you also, Erica Hianyo, who, of course, is the editor of Radio XYZ. We appreciate your time.